Right now, the whole world is preoccupied with the US-Iran war. The Strait of Hormuz has been closed. Oil prices are rising. Iran has also shut down the Gulf countries' gas supply to the world, including Europe and Asia. Trump's threats on social media are not stopping. Every day on TV and social media, you see new missiles raining down. These are the scenes you witness. On top of that, stock markets around the world are in turmoil. People are bracing themselves for tough times ahead. But in the midst of this crisis, Israel is taking advantage and causing carnage in Lebanon. Over there, they're playing their own separate game. In these new attacks by Israel, at least 1,000 people have been killed so far. More than 100 children have lost their lives. Over 1 million people have left their homes and are living in camps, and they might never be able to return to their homes. Because Israel, using Hezbollah as an excuse, is evacuating South Lebanon. It is depopulating the area. Perhaps later, Israeli settlers will start living there. Now, regarding this game, this complex long-term game that Israel is currently playing, we have explained to you in great detail in this episode what the real motive is. Israel's situation with the United States is definitely tight because of Iran. But Israel is gaining full advantage from this war. For them, it's actually a blessing. Even their ministers have said this. The brutality we saw in Gaza, we are now witnessing that same brutality in Lebanon as well. It means that innocent people will now have to leave their homes and spend their lives in tents. Buildings and houses are being brought down like a house of cards. Banned chemical white phosphorus is being used. It is so dangerous that just hearing about it will make your soul tremble. That is why in today's episode, we will try to understand why, along with Iran, Lebanon is also being attacked and occupied in the midst of this war. What exactly is the group known as Hezbollah, which Israel is citing as it prepares for a new massacre? How was Beirut once famously called the Paris of the Middle East, and how is it now tragically being reduced to dust? Is everything ready to turn Lebanon into another Gaza? Will the international community once again close its eyes as it witnesses another Gaza? And why is it now being said that Netanyahu is proving to be even worse than Adolf Hitler? In the past 48 hours, Netanyahu's mask has come off to some extent in front of America and the world. First of all, the attack on Iran's South Pars gas field is going to cause more trouble for America. Due to higher gas and oil prices, and now there have been these insulting remarks about Jesus Christ, which Netanyahu made by saying that Christ's goodness cannot stand up to Genghis Khan's power. Basically, what he means to say is this: might makes right. Whoever has the stick, whoever has the missiles, whoever has the guns, they are the ones who are right. They are the ones who will survive.
That Lord Jesus Christ has no garbled. Yajun, if you are mighty and truly full of power, then show yourself to us right now, God.
This gives you an idea of their mindset. This gives you an understanding of their way of thinking, what Israel and Netanyahu are really about. That's probably why even America is now asking questions about how we are providing so much help to an antichrist individual. Later, even Netanyahu realized that things had turned against him. So he and his team tried hard to explain that they were only calling Bill Durant. But what did the Zionists really think about Christians? How they spit on Christians? It often gets published in Israeli newspapers. It's no secret to anyone. Perhaps that's why a campaign has now started to keep Israel away from American politics. But will it be too late by then? Has this realization come too late in America? To understand the new king or the massacre happening in Lebanon, we first need to understand a bit about the geography of this place, Lebanon. It is a small country located in the heart of the Middle East. With a population of around 6 million people, its capital city is Beirut, which was once called the Paris of the Middle East. To its south is the border with Israel, and to the east is Syria. From the 2nd of March to the 20th of March, Israel has killed at the very least 1,000 people in this specific area. Among them are about 100 women, 40 health workers, and 118 children. 118 children, as of the time this episode is being recorded. But if you look at the international media, you won't find much mention of this. In a country with a population of 6 million, more than 1 million people have become homeless. They are living their lives in tents set up along the roadside, and that's where they'll have to stay. Perhaps for eternity? Because Israel's defense minister has made it clear that these people can no longer return to their homes. Not until it is ensured that the people of Israel are now safe. Now, as you know, the people of Israel are always in danger. They are never really safe. Their lives and property are always at risk. Israel is under such threat that, according to general conflict, location, and event data, Israel has carried out more than 400 attacks on Lebanon just in these recent assaults. The attacks have been carried out so indiscriminately that two things become evident. Either Israel has absolutely no idea where Hezbollah is located, or Hezbollah is simply being used as a convenient excuse. The real target is to drive the people of Lebanon out of their own homes. Preparations are underway to turn all of Lebanon into a new Gaza. The majority of these military attacks were initially reported as taking place in southern Lebanon and the southern parts of Beirut. Israel has also intensified its aerial bombing campaign in the Bekaa Valley and the Baalbek region of eastern Lebanon. In addition, a total of 11 bridges have been heavily targeted, so that all connectivity of southern Lebanon with the rest of the country is cut off. Even if media personnel are standing on the bridge reporting and end up dying, it doesn't make any difference. If we want to destroy something, we will destroy it no matter what. This is the motto of the IDF. No one will be spared, even if you are broadcasting live on camera. On March 16, 2026, the Israeli army officially announced that they are launching a limited and targeted ground operation in southern Lebanon. This means Israeli tanks and their troops have entered Lebanon. Looting is currently unfolding with a very great deal of enthusiasm. I don't know what kind of anti-Hezbollah operation this is. And right near the border, absolutely all the buildings are being reduced to piles of rubble. Whether it is an official government building or a private residential one, everything is being targeted. One building after another is being completely destroyed. Dahi is located in the southern part of Beirut. It's like a massive residential colony where a population of over 1 million people live. Israeli warplanes have repeatedly targeted this entire area. Within a span of just 10 days, the entire surrounding area was reduced to rubble. We've seen this scene somewhere before. Recently in Gaza, the situation is such that people are being buried right where they die from the bombings, because taking the bodies back to their homes or hometowns is not without danger. Everyone is being targeted. On March 12th, the Israeli army issued a major order stating that all people living from the Litani River to the Zarani River must vacate the area. Before Israel starts bombing here, this order has reached up to 40 kilometers inside Lebanon. This is about the entire area being discussed. They are talking about evacuating this area. This covers about 1,500 square kilometers. That is roughly equivalent to 14 or 15% of the entirety of the nation. An Israeli captain was quoted as saying, "We just want to live. We don't want to occupy land. We're just having this area evacuated. We're depopulating it for our own security." Just like in Gaza, they just wanted to live for survival. Israel was fighting that war, and now the same war is being fought in Lebanon. After this struggle for survival, everyone saw what happened to Gaza, and now you are about to witness the same situation, the same brutality once again. In the coming days, this survival will become so crucial for Israel. To ensure this survival, it has been reported that white phosphorus is currently being used in the residential areas of Lebanon. White phosphorus is a highly volatile chemical substance that catches fire immediately upon coming into direct contact with oxygen, creating an incredibly intense fire. Its burning temperature becomes so extreme that it cannot even be extinguished with water. When a phosphorus bomb explodes high in the air, it scatters over a wide area of approximately 125 to 250 meters. It burns with such intense heat that it can melt human skin. And even if you have applied ointment and bandaged the wound and you have medical emergency supplies, when you open the bandage for dressing, as soon as it comes in contact with oxygen again, it can catch fire on your skin once more. That is exactly how incredibly lethal this chemical weapon is. That is why, according to the Geneva Convention, this weapon is banned and it is strictly forbidden for anyone to use it, especially in civilian areas. But what do these international rules actually mean? No rule ever stopped Hitler, and no rule can stop Netanyahu either. They have repeatedly deployed white phosphorus to target innocent civilians. And the brutality doesn't stop here. When we look back at the events of the past 2 weeks, the Israeli military has carried out attacks on approximately 70 healthcare centers and about 40 ambulances. Tragically, more than 40 healthcare workers have been killed. Amidst this ongoing massacre, 5 major hospitals were forced to completely shut down. We saw this same pattern in Rajah, following the October 7th Hamas terrorist attacks. In just 2 years, more than 1,700 health workers have been killed. The same pattern is everywhere. We were supposed to be looking for terrorists. But then children get caught in the middle, doctors get caught in the middle, the media gets caught in the middle. What can we do? They just die on their own? So far, Israel has displaced more than 2 million Palestinians, over 3 million Iranians, and more than 1 million Lebanese people from their homes. If we take a moment to look at the staggering number of victims who have been internally displaced within their own country throughout the entire recorded history of this planet, it is estimated that more than 6 million people have been forced to become refugees within their own country's borders. Lebanon, under the current military actions of Israel, is a vivid and clear example today. For those who thought that Israel was only in Gaza because of Hamas, simply fighting for its own survival, Israel was fighting for its right to exist. Hitler, too, was taking revenge for Germany's humiliation in the same way. He was expelling other countries for the security of Germany. Today, that same history is repeating itself. And what is happening openly in Lebanon today did not happen in a single day. Israel and Lebanon are situated adjacent to each other. Tensions between the two had been simmering for a long time. There is no debate about this, and these tensions finally erupt by March 2026. On October 7th, 2023, Hamas carries out a terrorist attack on Israel in which more than 1,200 Israelis are killed. More than 200 people are taken hostage. The very next day, Hamas begins its assault on Israel and Gaza. On October 8th, Hezbollah starts firing rockets from Lebanon. Their message to Israel is, "We stand with Gaza." For Hezbollah, this series of rockets, drones, and guided missiles and Israel's retaliatory actions, this back and forth continues for a whole year. Then something happens that doesn't even happen in movies. On September 17th and 18th, 2024, in Lebanon, Hezbollah's handheld communication devices like pagers and walkie-talkies unexpectedly began to explode. In this entire devastating attack, more than 30 people were killed, including 2 young children. More than 3,000 people were injured, most of whom were Hezbollah operatives. Such a clever and complex plan was devised, something no one had ever thought of before, that by infiltrating their supply chain, tiny bombs and small explosive devices were planted inside pagers and walkie-talkies. In Israel's history, this was not just a single operation. This was the beginning of a hunting season. After this success in September-October 2024, Israel eliminated the entire leadership of Hezbollah one by one. On 27 September 2024, Hassan Nasrallah, who had been the leader of Hezbollah for the past 32 years, was the face of Hezbollah. As soon as Israel discovered his location, they dropped around 80 bombs on his building. Hassan Nasrallah was killed right there. 1 week later, Israel also begins a ground invasion in Lebanon. This lasted for 13 months after October 7th. In this conflict, around 4,000 people from Lebanon are killed. 130 Israelis are also killed. Finally, on November 26, 2024, the US and France together announce a ceasefire between the two sides. Under the specific terms of the agreement, Hezbollah will be required to withdraw its forces to the north of the Litani River. Meanwhile, Israel will gradually withdraw from and return Lebanese territory in about 50 to 60 days. The Lebanese army will deploy 5,000 soldiers in the south. UN Resolution 1701 has now been implemented, under which Hezbollah will also have to surrender its weapons. It seemed that perhaps peace would finally be restored here, that a ceasefire would be implemented. But nothing like that actually happened. From November 2024, after the ceasefire, until March 2026, that's 15 months. Israel has continued its attacks in Lebanon almost daily. More than 400 people have been killed. During this ceasefire, just as we see in Gaza as well, the ceasefire doesn't really mean anything. Then the day arrives. On 28 February 2026, the United States and Israel launched a joint military attack on Iran. And in this attack, Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, along with Iran's top leadership, was wiped out. The man who had been funding, arming, and ideologically guiding Hezbollah for the past 4 decades has now finally been killed. For Hezbollah, this represents both a massive personal and a significant strategic blow. March 2nd, 2026. To avenge Khamenei's death after remaining quiet for a year, Hezbollah once again began launching one attack after another on Israel with rockets and drones. In response, Israel started bombing Lebanon that very night. Hearing this, you might think, what's wrong with that? Israel is also defending itself. Hezbollah is a terrorist organization, but action is being taken against Hezbollah. Or is there a bigger game being played here? If you're not getting this clarity, then listen to what is being said. The president of Turkey says Netanyahu is worse than Hitler? This is what Erdogan is saying. Now, why is he saying this? Let's understand. First, hear what he says.
Netanyahu is frequently and persistently being compared to Hitler. This is deeply disturbing and truly shocking.
This is what Erdogan says. Netanyahu, he is not just worse than Hitler. He is richer than Hitler because he has America's support. Now just imagine, if World War II had been fought with Hitler and America together on the same side, what would have happened then? America's doing exactly that today. Whatever Israel says, America does. Sometimes just to show the world America scolds or rebukes Israel. But in reality, it listens only to Israel. It obeys only Israel. America has become a puppet of Israel. Gaza is even called a modern-day open concentration camp. And this was said by Erdogan himself. He said it on record. At least Hitler put in a lot of effort. He used to run his concentration camps in secret. Here, the concentration camp operates openly. Barbarity happens openly, and no one says anything. But Israel knows how powerful information can be, how information shapes the public. That's why journalists are especially targeted by Israel. That's why, and again, we don't read all these headlines, that more journalists have been killed in 2025 alone than in both World War II and World War I combined, and it is Israel who has killed them. Israel has killed 250 Palestinian reporters alone. They are killed one by one, deliberately targeted. Journalists, so that the truth does not come out, can be revealed. All right, let's leave Erdogan aside. He himself is a dictator, and there's also the angle of Muslim appeasement. What he is saying for his own country is fine. But even if you look at Hollywood, now many voices have started to rise. However, let me remind you that if you raise your voice against Israel in Hollywood, you will be called an anti-Semite and your career could be finished. But even then, Academy Award-winning Spanish actors like Javier Bardem have openly stated that the Israeli army is acting like Nazis, employing the exact same logic, the same terror, and the same dehumanization that the Nazis once used, or which the IDF is now using on the Palestinian people. This killing that is happening, you really have to consider that. Okay, you are killing reporters and journalists, but even then, in front of the eyes of the whole world, there is unfiltered real-time video footage, satellite imagery, widespread destruction, and constant live reports. So what Nazi Germany did during the Holocaust, they did it in secrecy, using coded words, calling it the final solution, and by controlling information. Here, everything is happening out in the open, and even the UN is saying, I can't see anything. The International Court of Justice is also saying that we've issued it, a warrant. Now, whatever needs to be done, do it. No one is able to do anything. And if we talk about Palestine earlier, thousands of people have already been killed, out of which 15 to 16,000 are just children. And now the same logic is being applied there in Lebanon, that we are just going after Hezbollah. Now, how many children will die? How many people will die? How much depopulation will happen? We don't know. Now, I don't know what ordinary Israelis have to say about this. Ordinary Israelis say that these people who live in the neighboring countries, who live in Gaza, who are Palestinians, you can kill them. They're not even considered human. They're seen as animals. That's why even when an Israeli is caught on camera sexually assaulting a Palestinian, they are still made into national heroes. This is the kind of mentality that prevails. Such dehumanization takes place that it can only remind us of Nazi Germany. A 16-year-old girl is run over by a car. You run her over and drive away, nothing will happen to you. There is so much confidence that no one can touch you. On the other hand, if we talk about the West Bank, where there is no Hamas, settler violence is increasing there day by day. Israelis go enter Palestinian homes, throw them out of their houses, and no one can do anything about it. If we talk about Gaza's infrastructure today, homes, hospitals, schools, UN facilities, everything has been destroyed. More than 2 million people currently have nowhere to go. This story is not over yet, but the attention of the whole world has now moved on. And Israel is hoping it can do the same with Lebanon. Because Lebanon doesn't have any ballistic missiles, Lebanon can't retaliate. So we can trample the Lebanese. Just think about it. A country that can target leaders and scientists sitting in Iran right in their bedrooms and bathrooms. From miles away, it can displace 1 million people. Why is it even necessary? Why is it needed? Kill Nasrallah, kill Hamas? That's absolutely fine. But why is there an attempt at genocide happening in this way? There's not even any Hamas in the West Bank. But even then, if we talk about October 2023 onwards, 1,000 people have been killed just in the West Bank. If this isn't ethnic cleansing, then what is it? Where you are driving people out and allowing new settlement units there, building thousands of new homes, taking control of that land. Yes, the comparison seems unfair. Many people feel that way in some respects. I used to think that this comparison was unfair too, because of the brutality that Hitler committed. The way he killed 6 million people, that is absolutely true. But the way Israel is openly doing these things today, there is no one to stop them. That too is quite astonishing if you think about it. If today Israel announces that it is also setting up concentration camps, who will stop them? Will America stop them? Will Germany stop them? Will England stop them? Today, there is no one to stop this brutality, no one to speak out against it. Anyone who speaks out is silenced. Even the International Court of Justice says that they have issued arrest warrants for Netanyahu, but still Netanyahu goes wherever he wants and there is no one to arrest him. If you think that China will speak up, China will only look out for its own profit, its own interest. It is not going to step up for any truth anywhere. On the ground. So if you talk about narrative, Israel's biggest victory is that it always wins the narrative. The structure of the story presented to the world always remains in its favor. There is Hamas, Hezbollah, or the Houthis. These are the terrorist organizations that carry out attacks. Time and again, Israel is never at fault. Israel is just the poor victim reacting, defending itself. That's why it is getting a bad name. Those who were killed were just human shields of Hezbollah and Hamas. Their lives have no value. Now think about it. Why couldn't the Lebanese government stop Hezbollah? All of this has happened because of Hezbollah. And regarding Hamas, that is exactly what the average Israeli citizen thinks.
When there is, or it doesn't matter, who your enemy is, you need to destroy their offspring to prevent them from creating more offspring, right?
So I'm even ready to accept this logic. Fine, all the human shields are dying. But you'll be surprised to hear that. Why did Hamas become so powerful? Why did Hezbollah become so powerful? Why did they grow so much? Because this is also well documented. According to multiple Israeli media reports, it is documented that the Netanyahu government transferred funds to Hamas via Qatar, sending suitcases full of cash. Why did Netanyahu give money to a terrorist organization? Because according to Israel's former Prime Minister Ehud Barak, Netanyahu's calculation was that if Hamas controlled Gaza, the Palestinian Authority would become even weaker. The Palestinian Authority, which did not want terrorism, wanted a diplomatic solution and was internationally respected. But if there is chaos in Gaza, if Hamas is in Gaza, then a two-state solution will become impossible forever. Israel will get an excuse, a pretext for terrorism, a justification. A terrorist group was kept alive so that Israel's political agenda could be fulfilled. And that is the two-state solution never coming to fruition. Now, in Lebanon too, mass bombings in the same Gaza style are being carried out, people are being displaced from their homes, and bombs are being dropped. Just as Hamas was blamed in Gaza, Hezbollah has been declared responsible in Lebanon. But in both places, Israel will remain the victim. Even if the aggressors are no longer able to stand, remember in the narrative, Israel will always be portrayed as the perpetual victim. The most powerful tool in the world is controlling the narrative. Israel has truly mastered this while such extreme brutality is taking place there right now, Pelikit. But even after all that, the US and Europe, in the so-called guardians of humanity and democracy, simply cannot utter a single word. Their major publications can't even bring themselves to mention Israel by name. A bomb drops, innocent children die, and a genocide happens, but no one is allowed to mention Israel's name. No one dares to do that because Mossad will eliminate them. From the perspective of Israel, anyone who says anything, even this very episode, is labeled as anti-Semitic. Meaning they are against Jews, those who support the Holocaust. Using this excuse, they themselves are carrying out the Holocaust. A new genocide is being orchestrated and there is no one to stop it. I don't think anyone will come to save anyone in Lebanon this time either. Lebanon itself doesn't have any weapons. They don't even have ballistic missiles. So people there will just keep dying. And by the time people fully understand this game, it will be too late. Just think about what Netanyahu is showing to the whole world. He has one card, he has one move, and by playing it, he is removing the Iranian leadership one by one. He himself is hiding in a bunker, but one by one, Iran's leaders are being eliminated. And there is no one to stop this, no one to call it a terrorist act, no one to prevent it from escalating further, because anyone who tries to negotiate will also be eliminated. Israel will keep advancing its agenda. We are continuously monitoring this war. If you like our work here, subscribe, share the episode, and do make an effort. Please support us as well.